What's up, Auburn family? We are back with another weekly edition of Facts or Nah. The weekly rapid fire questions coming at y'all, fellas. Y'all ready to do this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's get it kicked off like this. Facts or Nah, assuming that Oklahoma and Texas join the SEC, of the last four teams to join the SEC, OU, that's Oklahoma, will be the first to win a conference championship. What do we think?
That's going to be a nah for me. I'm going to go with Texas A&M, and they would tell you if they wasn't so busy being in their feelings. But once that all subsides and the dust settles, I think that what Jimothy Fisher is doing over at Texas A&M, building a complete team that actually plays defense, Oklahoma, will also be in a position to actually get to the SEC championship and perhaps even win should they get Alabama or Georgia or whoever they face. I'm going with A&M. I think OU will definitely bring their high-powered offense. We know they have a reputation with quarterbacks, but I think A&M has the potential to get there first. So it's a nah.
I'm going to have to go with facts only because I don't think any of them are going to win a conference championship. So sure, pick a name out of a hat, whoever you want to pick. Because if we have the realignment the way that we're thinking about it, meaning Auburn and Alabama move over to the East, that means you're going to have Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida all in the East. The East is going to be the champion every year. LSU will probably beat, and Texas A&M will probably beat up on those other guys. OU might get there. They'll end up losing to whoever comes out of the East. So maybe if we were asking who's going to get there first, Missouri's already been there, so we can't ask that question. Whatever. Sure, Oklahoma will get there and win it first. They're not going to win.
I say facts. I don't trust Texas A&M because I don't trust their coach.
Shocker.
That was easy. Nothing else to be said. Texas is a shell of itself. They haven't been relevant in at least 10 years, more like 12. They made it to play Bama, lost. Yeah, they've done nothing since then. There's nothing to get excited about with any of these four teams. Honestly, OU is going to put up some numbers, but it will take a very lucky year, and probably they'll have to be whoever comes out of the East, and whoever comes out of the East would have to be compromised. A slip up, let's say a Georgia team that isn't that good, but they end up beating Bama somehow, or they beat an Auburn team that maybe is a little early ahead of schedule. But anyway it goes, it's not going to be Texas A&M or Texas, so facts, OU.
I'm definitely going facts on this one. Listen, the school that has produced two of the last four Heisman winners, all quarterbacks, definitely is going to have the best shot to win the SEC before any of the other three schools. Come on, guys. Now, I know Brian hates Texas A&M, and I have been high on them, but I just think it's an offensive league now. It's an offensive world in college football. Oklahoma's proven that they've got the offense. They've gotten to the playoff multiple times. I'm giving OU the edge here of the four teams, so I'm going facts on this one.
All right, guys. Facts or nah? The Auburn offense gets over 400 total yards on offense against Penn State. What are we thinking?
I'm going to say facts, and I don't really have any reason to say facts that we get 400 yards against Penn State. That's most likely going to be impossible considering where they're playing, the time of day, the fact that it'll be the biggest opponent they played in their stadium in over a year. But you know what? If I'm going to go all in with 9-3, I got to believe we can go in there and put up some points, man. I got to believe it. I got to roll with it. Tight ends are going to get some work. Running backs are going to get some work. And we may have to nickel and dime it. But I think 400 yards is possible. It's an offensive time of football right now. We are in the offensive era. So why not 400 yards at Penn State? Book it. Facts.
I'm going to go nah on this one. I expect a grinded ball control type game in a hostile environment where Brian Harsin and Mike Bobo are going to try to keep the ball out of harm's way, which means a heavy dose of tank and then throwing the ball when we have to keep the defense off balance. So I don't expect us to score a lot of points in this game. I think we'll be lucky to even come out with the win. So under 400 yards or right around there is definitely kind of in the cards, but I'm going to go no on this one. I think we finish in the 375, 380 range.
Yeah, I'm going to go nah on this one. Until I actually see a competent pass offense that complements a run offense, I'm hesitant to say that we break 400 against anybody who has even a remotely good defense. I'm going to have to see it before I believe it and before I buy it completely. Penn State did have trouble against the run last year. They did change defenses a little bit. So we'll see how they're looking earlier in the season as to whether or not they've adjusted to their new defensive schemes. They also lost some guys in their linebacking core that were pretty heavy for tackles for them, as well as one of the guys along their defensive line. So they're retooling. But I'm just not ready to say our offense is a 400-yard offense yet until I see the pass game be more competent, specifically on the road. So first big road test of the year, not ready to go there yet. Nah.
Guys, I'm going to have to go nah here as well. I think this is one of those games where should Auburn win, they win with defense. And they have to rely on them to carry them as the offense gets their legs up under them. I expect Auburn to still try to feel their way around on offense, get comfortable on the road. It's going to be tough. They're going to lean heavily on what they do best, which is run the ball, control the clock. And I just don't see a lot of offensive output from that strategy, getting those guys acclimated to the offense. So I think Auburn, I agree with Mike, it's going to be probably high 300s, mid 350s, somewhere in there. But I think you're going to see a defensive struggle is what I'm thinking between these two teams. So it's going to be a nah for me. Hopefully they can pull it out, but I don't see a lot of offensive fireworks. It's a nah.
All right. Facts or nah, fellas. Auburn's offense turns the ball over less than 5 times in the month of September.
I'm going to go nah on this one. I see more than 5 turnovers in the cards because I really believe we're going to be trying to work out the kinks in this offense for the whole month of September. And depending on quarterback play, which is where I believe those turnovers will come from if they come, it's going to be really difficult to stay under 5 turnovers unless we keep the ball on the ground primarily. But they're going to have to put the ball in the air some to figure out what we have in terms of passing and a passing attack. So I'm going to go nah. I expect there to be some growing pains. I'm not saying it's going to persist through the season, but I expect there to be some mistakes in implementing a brand new system on offense under Brian Harsin and Mike Bobo. Nah, +5.
I'm going to go facts on this. Now, hold on. Be Will, if we were betting and they get exactly 5, that's a push, right? And so
that's a push.
Okay, so are we allowing pushes here? Because if we're allowing pushes, then I would go for the push. But here's what I'm thinking, right? If we can get less than 2 turnovers at Penn State, meaning 1, right? Fewer than 2, then we can limit ourselves to maybe 2 that first game of the season and be mistake-free for the other ones, then we could be in there, right? So 1 in Penn State and then intersperse 3 over the other ones. That's a total of 4. And I think that's the recipe for getting less than 5. I'm just not, I don't know, man. The quarterback position and the inexperience at wide receiver has me questioning whether or not we're going to be throwing into some windows that we shouldn't be. But I'm just hoping for some butterfingers on the other end to get me less than 5. So for right now, I'm going to say facts.
I'm going to say nah here. I think Tank is definitely a guy we're going to rely on heavily, and I don't expect him to have a case of the fumbles throughout the month of September. But there are a lot of factors that play into why we could potentially turn the ball over in a brand new offense, weather conditions, on the road against Penn State. I don't think that that's a recipe for a terrible September, but I do see where there are a lot of places where we may not turn the ball over less than 5 times. And I'm leaning towards the fact that we may not do that. So it's a nah for me.
Well, fellas, I'm going to say nah. Outside of Bo Nix being new to this system, wide receivers are new, like Ike said. So what that means is they're going to have to read. wide receivers are going to have to read the defense the same way that the quarterback is going to have to read the defense, because it's not just do what the coach said do anymore. And that's going to lead to some miscommunications, some, hey, you were supposed to break left when I thought you were breaking right. And things are going to be kind of mismatched for at least a little while. And I expect the coaches to take more chances with those types of plays while we play our cupcakes, to give the players a little bit of experience doing that reading when it's not going to cost us a game. So I expect some misreads. I expect some misplays, not necessarily a lot of fumbles, but fumbles don't just have to come from the running back. They can come from a quarterback that's going to sit in the pocket a whole lot more. They can come from some tight ends who really haven't caught a lot of passes for us. They could even come on kickoff returns. Knock on wood. I don't like the way, but I mean, it's possible. So, nah, it's not going to be less.
All right, War Rapport family, you know what time it is. It is time for the fan question of the week. We appreciate all the submissions, but this week, our fan question of the week comes courtesy of our man, C. Chandler Live TV. He says, facts or not, Coach Harsin will win SEC Coach of the Year if he wins 8 to 9 wins this season. What are we thinking?
I'm actually going to go now this one. I definitely don't think 8 wins is going to be enough to win SEC Coach of the Year. And 9 will do it only if you go on the road and you beat LSU for the first time in 2 decades. Now, do I see that happening? Not super ready to call that yet, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a tough task for him to win SEC Coach of the Year based on the fact that he's not inheriting a talentless squad. I think that people believe that we have talent. If he turns Bo Nix into an all-SEC quarterback, he might win it. But it's going to take more than 8 to 9 wins. I think he's got to win 10 to get SEC Coach of the Year, and he's got to beat some of those rivals that we've been losing to every year for certain. But not for me. I don't think 8 to 9 wins will do it.
I'm going to say nah as well. When you've got 2 contenders who are picked to win the conference from different outlets between Georgia and Alabama, if one of them goes undefeated, how could you not have them as Coach of the Year? You go undefeated, especially if it ends up winning you a title, then that's going to be the coach of the conference for the year. No question. But like Mike said, 9's not enough because we've got talent. If Tank Bigsby has an all-world year, they're going to say, of course, everybody liked Tank Bigsby as the best back in the conference before the season started. And it's going to be a lot of, oh, yeah, that's right. We forgot they had guys. So Harsin would have to do, like we've already said, 10 wins, double digits, which means he knocked off people who they thought we had no chance at beating. And that gets us that Coach of the Year territory. But if he doesn't do that, nah.
I'm going facts, all right? And I know this is a no sunshine pump zone, but there's too much sunshine over here that I'm about to pump. I need shades to talk about this. Everyone has been predicting this guy to win 7 games, all right? Finishing 5th in the SEC West. If this guy wins 9 games, and especially if he beats one of our big rivals, someone he has no business beating in an Alabama, Georgia, he plays spoiler. You got to consider this guy coming from Boise. What a story. Coming from Boise State and in year 1 gets Auburn to 9 wins. That's more than Gus Malzahn's average in 8-4. A solid season. You got to give this guy SEC Coach of the Year. All right, the future is bright. My shades are on. And the moment I take these shades off, it's no longer a sunshine pump zone. I'm going facts.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Caesar. Listen, that was really great. You're wrong. The answer is he's not going to win Coach of the Year just getting 8 to 9 wins. I'm sorry, because here's the formula for 8 to 9 wins. Either he loses to somebody he's not supposed to, right? And then he still gets, a couple other wins that he is supposed to, which means he had a better than expected season still. Or he beats a couple people that he's not supposed to, wins all the games that he is supposed to. But that also means that there are coaches who are going to win more games than him in his division. The media has absolutely no love for Auburn, just enough to say, oh, Brian, he's going to be this great media dark. No, it's not going to happen. 9 wins isn't enough. He's going to need at least 10, maybe even 11 to get Coach of the Year nod in the SEC, and still might not if that one loss is to Bama and they're undefeated, because whatever. Saban, that guy. Nah.
All right, guys, that's it. Another great edition of Facts or Nah. Listen, we want to hear from you. So if you want to get your question featured on this segment, tweet at us at the War Rapport, hashtag Facts or Nah to get your question on our next segment. Other than that, you know where to find us. We're the War Rapport on Twitter and Instagram, TW Rapport on TikTok.